Hello everyone, welcome to the match reaction. First thing, before the negativity comes in the comments, the noise that you can hear is Spurs fans celebrating a draw. That shows you the progress of Newcastle United. I was disappointed that we conceded the 95th, 96th minute goal. Majority have now gone on the bus, but a lot of them are singing, happy that they came away from a point, because this has been a miserable ground for them. They've been battered down the years and haven't won for a long time at St James's Park. But for me, that shows the mentality that they're coming here and they're celebrating a draw. I know the euphoria of 95th, 96th minute, you feel much better, because obviously on the other side you feel more deflated. But I think that does show the mentality a little bit. Like I do have to say that. However, looking at it, Desmond 2-2, you know, when it was 0-0, we were saying, you know what, this has got 8 goals written all over it, and all of a sudden there's 4 goals. How many changes would Eddie Howe make? Obviously, the last word's going to be out tomorrow. That's going to come on tomorrow, so stay tuned for that where it's more in depth. It wasn't, well, it was 2. That was it. It was Murphy in for Langa, and Tonali come in for Bruno, and obviously Bruno came on half time. First half, we had a lot of possession, a lot of it. I thought we were the much better side first half. Valdemar header from a great cross from Murphy. Joe Litton hit the post. Someone had a shot that went just wide as well, I can't remember. Their best chance come from Bergveld. Lewis Hall got done on the rare occasion that he does get done. And it's like a flick and it goes out of the bar. Half time came. Bruno came on for Tonali, not sure why. Is that precaution? Was that planned? But Eddie Howe has been moving the midfielders around, because you've seen Tonali have a place on the bench, you've seen Bruno tonight, you've seen Joe Litton two games ago, so they're all being rotated. The only player who's not started that midfield is Ramsey, who was nearly about to come on until we scored that second goal, but obviously it's Fabian Schär who came on. Second half, as I was saying before, I thought it was going to end 0-0 because I couldn't see it. I thought Spurs were growing into it a little bit at the end of the first half, and then in the second half they're having a little bit more of the ball. But we scored. Bruno, I mean, it's a good finish. It is a very good finish, and you know, the celebration's right in front of us. He jumps into the Holdens. I think he hurts himself initially, but he was alright. So it was funny. It was a funny moment, to be fair. 1-0 up, great. Okay, can you maybe go on and get that second? Because I think you need that second goal. Because I think the second goal will probably kill them off. And we conceded, I think it was Romero, because obviously that's at the other end. I might be wrong on that again. I've not seen it back, but 1-1. Right, okay. Can you then go on and show that you can maybe nick a winner against the odds? I didn't feel second half that the tune. I think they went down a gear. I don't think the intensity was as high as the first. Obviously there was a few substitutions. I think the wingers coming off was the correct call, just to freshen it up a little bit. And obviously Newcastle got a very heated, because Spurs were protesting against the VAR again. I haven't seen it back, so this is going on first footing. Referee guns to the side, and it's alleged that it's holding. And do you know what? Because it still happened so quickly, I didn't even know who it was initially who was being held. I thought it was Valdemar. Might be right. But referee does give it after a little bit of a wait, a couple of minutes or so. Anthony Gordon steps up. Obviously he's come off the bench and scores, puts it away 2-1. You think, right, brilliant. Now at that time, ask you at home. Now it's easy to say it in hindsight, of course it is. Would you then go 5 at the back? Because as I was saying to you earlier, Ramsey was initially ready to come on, but we scored to make it 2-1, and then he changed it and brought on Fabian Schär. Initially I would have agreed with that. I even said 5 at the back, let's take the 3 points. You've only got a few minutes, you know, to see the game out. A massive, what was it, 9 minutes, 8-9 minutes was added on right at the end there. But Romero scores an overhead kick, and it's, how does that trickle in? It felt like at the other end of the ground, it felt like it was slow motion how it gans in. It's an overhead kick, and it just, I don't know, maybe it gets a deflection, it bounces, but it somehow gans in, and they're celebrating. And obviously Romero and Bruno have a bit of afters. It's not the first time Brazil versus Argentina and what have you, but Spurs are singing. they're happy with the points. But again, I'll go back to what originally started. It shows you the mindset of how far we've come, because a few years ago we would have been delighted before the takeover. We would have been delighted for a draw away from home at Spurs. Now they're coming to St James's Park delighted with a draw. So is it a fair result? Probably. I don't think there's massive gulf in it overall, but you know, Spurs have been in poor form. They really have. Only won, including this game actually, I think it's like 1 win in, is it 8 now? Spurs fans, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 1 win in 8. They're not in good form, and we should really defend them better. I've scored 2 goals. We should be defending better tonight. We scored 2, so individually we'll talk more about performances, players who I thought weren't particularly great and what have you in the last word. But it's a point. You might look at that at the end of the season and think, you know what, that's a point that gets with Europe. You might look at that at the end of the season and think, you know what, those 2 extra points might have got with Europe. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, in it. But obviously Spurs are the much happier fan base leaving the stadium tonight. But yeah, drop us a like, everyone. We're just next to Alice Stewart's now, next to the Spurs bus, as that'll pull in to pick the players up. But from St James's Park, drop us a like. Let us know your feelings on the whole game in general. Where did it go wrong? So Newcastle do pick up a point. 2-2.